Dear Reddit, what is your weirdest dream or nightmare you've ever had? My first memory was a nightmare I had when I was around 5. I remember it vividly, and I have no idea why it scared me so much. I look back and laugh at it because it is so weird. Anyways, my friends and I were all playing in my childhood home. Then there was a knock at the door. My friend went to open it, and there was Barney at the door. My friend invited him in, but every time he looked at me, he had evil red eyes. No one else noticed this. Eventually, Barney tried to get everyone outside. I followed hesitantly, and as soon as I stepped outside, I saw that Triceratops character charging everyone with her horns, and had glowing red eyes. That was when I realized they were out for blood. I tried to get everyone to run, but they wouldn't listen. I watched Barney and the Triceratops take down my younger brother, and that's when I woke up. 2 weird dreams. 1. 20 years from now, my future wife and I will buy my former high school and turn it into a house. 2. Had a wife in the military, either deployed or deceased, and around 10 to 12 children. I told these 2 dreams to my friend, and he stitched them together to form what he calls the prophecy. My best friend took me to some farmland during a time when it was covered in a thick layer of snow, gave me a large squirt gun, and told me to spray the cows as they came in. I take one look at the cows, and I get sad, and throw the gun into the snow. The farmer, or a farmhand, sees us, yells and curses at us, and makes us line up against the fence. I swear to him that it was all my friend's idea. This large mob of people consisting of everyone I know, gathers around to watch this unfold, and at some point, my friend says something to me. In that moment, I fly into this murderous rage, grabbing him by the throat and screaming, "You son of a bitch. I'll kill you. Fuck you. Fuck you." His face is getting redder and redder with every squeeze. Finally, my mom pulls me away, and I let him go. Jack Black is in a movie about a mid-low tier ranking gangster addicted to pain meds pulling off insane heists and murders, so lower tier gangsters stop trying to kill him and his friends for his spot. This happens after he finds his dead friend with a 7 of diamonds playing card with the letter J burned into it. The gang is ranked by playing cards. Ace is the new guy, the king is big boss, Jack is currently 7, and the card was a sign that they were coming for him. At one point, he gets high in the back of a garbage truck and thinks he's in Lego Star Wars. Police try out his weird mannerisms, one of Jack's mannerisms, to try to connect him to the crimes. Jack catches the police chief in high heels when he tries breaking into the station. Finds out while spying on Chief that his friends were going to double-cross him. The name of the movie will be Jack Black's Blackjack. I had this recurring dream. I'm in my town center, and I see a huge mushroom cloud exploding in the distance. It's fast approaching, and I jump into the fountain at the last second since I'm extremely slow. As I go in, I can see the flames and destruction from underwater, and I immerse myself to see everything destroyed. I'm having this dream since I was 5 to 6 years old, and it gets me every time. I'm 24. After my grandmother died, she would appear to me at night, sitting alongside my bed in the rocking chair that she had willed me. It didn't feel like a dream, it seemed vividly real. She and I would talk about many things, some of which we'd never discussed when she had been alive. I would ask questions, and she'd give clear answers. These nightly episodes went on for weeks after her death. When they finally stopped, I was sad that she no longer appeared. The first night we got my pet cat, when I was a little girl, I dreamt for 2 nights she would stop at nothing to kill me. She even killed my mother in one of my dreams. There were no gory details, thank goodness. But I vividly remembered the cat sitting on my mother's corpse saying, "Your mother is no help to you now." I really loved the cat at the time, so I'm not sure where this came from. I was a child, and had just watched The Predator, with Schwarzenegger. In my dream, the predator was hunting me. He finally caught me, wedged the spear where my arm was joined to my body, and pushed on it so as to dislodge my arm. I woke up with my arm completely flabby and non-functional for the next 30 minutes. I had a dream where I was walking in the corridor of my apartment at night. I spot an old woman with a cloth tied around her head to protect herself from the chilling cold. She was at the end of the corridor. I turn and look at her, and she looks up at me, and drops her walking stick. Her eyes were black, and her mouth twisted into a snarl. I was frozen to the spot. She started sprinting towards me, and I didn't hesitate to nope out of there. I was extremely slow at running in the dream, and the corridor never seemed to end. I turned around while running, and the old woman was inches from my face, but was now smiling. She told me to stop and look at her. She was just about to say something when I woke up. It was 8:47 in the morning, and my parents were in my room, packing. My mum was ironing out my clothes. We were moving to India from Singapore that day. It was 2012, and I was 11. When we went to a rented room for the time being in India, I shit you not, the room number was 847. I played Slender late at night with my friend. I was 13 at that time. I was getting tired, so I said bye-byes and went to sleep. Here's how it starts. I, my friend, F1, and another friend, F2, are making a Slenderman statue out of snow. We go inside to get a few cups of drinks, and go outside again. The statue is gone. F2 disappears. I see something not faced in sight. My sight blurs. We made it live. F1, run. We run and try not to look at it. Our destination is F1's house. We make it to my friend's house and open our eyes. Is it gone? F1, silence. I don't think about the silence and open the door. Slender is at the door and says, "Hello boys," as my sight blurs and I die. In Roblox. WTF. I respawn and find out I'm playing a game called Stop Is Slender 2. I say, is this a dream? Then I woke up. Oof. This one time at a sleepover, when I was like 8, I woke up from a dream where me and my friend were running through a white tunnel, and right as I got to the end, I woke up. I saw the same friend sitting up, and I asked him if he was able to sleep, because I thought he was awake all night. He said he just woke up from a dream that he described as the same as mine. I remember one, that I infiltrated a villain meeting, and there were many villains there. It was in the style of My Hero Academia, so subtitles appeared each time a character was introduced, summarizing their power. When it was time, an old woman, holding a toilet under her arm, entered the room, followed by 2 henchmen. Her subtitle, Toilet Queen, she has a toilet. For some reason, the other villains were terrified of her. Imagine all the other villains having long descriptions of her power, and then arrives a villain, he's an old lady holding a toilet. Her power is that she has a toilet, and everyone freaks out. Also, there was that time I saw in a magazine a new season of Dragon Ball Super announcing the new villain, a female Saiyan named Keela. Her note said she was a Saiyan and a Marxist. I work at a zoo, and we had crazy tigers. They have since been sent to a big cat sanctuary, because they never really adjusted well to our location. But they used to sneak and ambush you when walking by their enclosure. No joke, you are minding your business, and they would rush and pounce at the fence in full kill mode, and scare the ever-living shit out of you. The tigers are gone, and in their new home, but there are a number of us that still have tiger nightmares. I had a dream a couple of hours ago about a man named Lewis, that moved to Australia from America after years of abuse from his father towards him and his sisters. One of his sisters passed away. It felt so real, and I felt such a strong connection. I tried looking it all up, but, alas, couldn't find anything, because it wasn't real. It's got me really fucked up, to be honest. I contacted this person, and we connected, and I loved him. But it was just a dream. Then I woke up back to this depressing, lonely reality. 1. Kanye West seeks my help moving his furniture out of an apartment. Also, all the furniture is assembled out of cereal boxes. Cheerios, Fruit Loops, Raisin Bran, Chucks, etc. I actually had this dream 3 nights in a row. 2. 8 or 9 giant anacondas had a battle royale in my backyard during a monsoon. Water up to my ankles, while I just stood and watched. Every time an anaconda killed one, it would consume the loser and grow in size. Eventually, one titanic anaconda was left, which slithered into the woods behind my house. 3. Kurt Russell was a Pokemon trainer, but he was like, really into it. Yelling attacks out, throwing his fists in the air. Whenever he'd get a KO, he would lose his damn mind, and even me and other trainers would look at each other and talk about how Kurt Russell needs to take it down a notch. Being in a completely white room with no perceivable door or windows. Around the entire room, about 3 inches from the ceiling, is a model train track that comes into the room through a small tunnel from one wall, wrap the whole room, and then returns into a tunnel on the opposite side of the first wall. It is also completely white. On this track comes a small white model tank, smoking from its barrel the entire time it travels around the room. I get an anxious feeling of displacement, like the odd sensation you get if you take your thumb and push it as far as it will reach between your pointer and middle finger. I don't know why that specific action makes me get the same feeling of displacement, but it's the closest thing to it that I've been able to find out in the waking world. I have this dream around 5 to 6 times a year, and thus has been happening for more than 10 years now. I have no idea why. This is the earliest nightmare I can remember. So, for some reason, my mom was trapped in one of those mini pinball maze things. I don't know the exact name, and we brought her to the doctors for whatever reason. And after a while, the doctors concluded the only way to free her was to skin me alive. And the next thing I know, I see the doctor slowly coming toward me with a scalpel as I scream, and everything fades to black. The next thing I know is that the doctor, my dad, and my mom, who is now free, are all standing there happy. They all look at me as the next image is me completely skinned. And then I woke up. It's been 10 years, and I still remember that messed up dream. I sat on a bench very late at night with a few of my friends. We weren't talking or anything. Then it sorts of zoomed out, so I was watching from very far away. Then one of those semi-sphere cameras detached from the building it was connected to, and it was connected to this like extending metal pole. And then the camera rushed super fast into my face, the me that was sitting on the bench, and I woke up. I was part of a task force to take down a Godzilla-sized mosquito without wings in the inner city. This was when I found out that the whole you wake up when you die concept was bullshit, because every time I died, I would respawn. It was like Groundhog Day, but instead of learning to manipulate people in small-town Pennsylvania, I was getting impaled by a monstrous insect. I once had a dream where I was walking through an incredibly vivid but unfamiliar city. During the dream, I was quite intent on examining my surroundings, and accidentally walked onto the street, where I ended up getting hit by a car, and I woke up. Fast forward to a few days later, and we were on a road trip. We stopped for lunch at a little town near Canberra. After getting out of the car, I started looking around, and I got some deja vu vibes. It looked and felt eerily similar to my dream. For the next few minutes, I was running through what I could remember of the dream, and comparing it to the town. Unbeknownst to me, I had started wandering onto the road during my contemplations. At this point, I reached the part of my dream where I got hit, and I suddenly just decided to stop walking. The car sped past, maybe a step away from me. Had me rattled, but I was alright.